Capricorn Venus, this is your monthly love and relationship reading for May, June, whenever you see this. Fear of loss, you're afraid of losing someone or being abandoned. Take a chance. Okay, let's get this tarot for you. Oh, shit. Five of Wands reversed. No desire to fight, no desire to compete, no desire to argue. Avoidance. That's you right now. Anything else? Queen of Cups reversed. You're feeling emotionally drained, emotionally unstable. There could have been a lot of crying in your recent past or even today. Eight of Swords, you feel trapped. I'm so sorry. Fuck. Okay, we're going to get some answers for you. I'll get some answers for you. All right, so what's your person doing? The most relevant person to you. This is the person you're in a relationship with. This could be an ex. We'll see what they say. Devil reversed, Three of Swords reversed, and the Page of Wands. This could be an ex, a conversation about an ex, or if it is, it's an ex from a long time ago. Again, fear of loss, afraid of losing someone or being abandoned, take a chance. Page of Wands, they want to have a conversation, this person, but I'm also seeing Devil reverse, like this is not the old person from the past, the Eight of Cups. They've already moved on and moved forward. So if you're talking to a new person, it's kind of like Eight of Cups. Whoever it is, they've moved forward. Ace of Wands. They've got a new desire, a new interest coming out here. Okay, so are we talking about an ex today? Four of Swords reversed, Eight of Wands reversed. No. This is just about the fear of loss and how there's someone in your past that is contributing to this fear of loss and what you can do about it. So, what's at the center of this reading? Oh, God. Five of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. It's a lot for you to handle. I'll just say that right now. Moon reverse. There's clarity on the issue, though. You know what you're dealing with. So, all the factors are there for you to see if you're open to seeing it. If you look for it, you'll find it because it's all around. But the issue at hand is you're idealizing something that is no longer working or didn't work. What did you want out of the situation? Three of Pentacles. You wanted to have something that you could show to others and be proud of, I want to say, but it was more like you had to keep this to yourself. Maybe you didn't want any help. I also get Four of Wands within the home. I think that this could have been healed a lot faster for you if you were open to talking about it and having a dialogue about it. Especially if you've been with someone else, like, if this is the one that got away and then you've been with someone else since then, you could have talked to them about it, but it was something you kind of kept close to your chest, even among the people in your home, right? Four of Wands. And they could have really helped balance this out for you and gotten you to a higher ground. They had a lot of resource is what I want to say, if not personal experience, but just they had resource for you. But it was something that you kind of kept to yourself. Hangman. You didn't want to burden them with it. I think there's some element of like light embarrassment or shame around what happened and the idea that you're still attached to this old person. How about the most recent relationship that you were in? What did they want? Six of Cups, unconditional love, share and share alike. Queen of Pentacles, they wanted financial abundance with you. I think this might have even been you, whether you're a male or female, doesn't matter. You're someone who is financially smart and literate, someone who works hard and nurtures growth and fertility around them and abundance around them. So they saw you as a person who looked to grow. They wanted to grow together with you. Queen of Wands, there's also a lot of attraction there with you, and they let down their defenses with you. Fuck. Okay. And this is not the one that got away, by the way. I asked specifically about the most recent person that you were with that kind of like, blocked you from being able to connect with them and everything. And so, they had a lot to offer, or at least they saw you as someone very valuable and very special. So, what fear are we really looking at here with you? Six of Swords, of course, that's the abandonment issues. Knight of Wands, there could be sex or sex positivity issues around here. Hierophant reverse, that's fear of commitment. And then the Hangman, having to sacrifice and give too much. Seven of Cups, loss of options, loss of optionality, loss of choices, loss of choice. Okay, so there's a lot going on. So I just want to kind of put all of this aside, and we're gonna dive deep into each of these different kind of fears that are holding you back, because this has very little to do with that person at the end of the day, and more about how you've internalized the issues and how they've sort of metastasized in your life. So we want to attack that, we want to fucking take care of that so that you can move forward. Sorry about my sinuses. I'm still dealing with allergy issues. That's been like all month now. Okay, Six of Swords, fear of abandonment. What do we need to know about that? Let's ask how it happened and what needs to be done. What do you need to have the courage to do to move forward from it? So how did it happen? Like, can we name a person, a place, a thing, or an event? It's an event. Empress and the King of Pentacles. So King of Pentacles reversed. Three of Pentacles reversed. So this is something that happened where no one else could see it. First of all, it was behind closed doors. It was a private matter. I see you as an Empress where you were doing really well in life. You had a lot to offer. Money was good. You were open and receptive to a person. And then this person withheld from you. They took money from you. They could have stolen from you. What's at the base of the deck? Death reversed. I think this has been a repeated pattern as well, where when you open up and you're receptive and supportive to someone, they start taking more than their fair share, or they start controlling money, resources, finances, or both. How do you show that fear of abandonment to your new partners? Ace of Wands, sort of impulse, even combativeness with them. Four of Cups, you reject their energy, reject their love offers. You kind of go up into arms quickly as a reactionary effect, because you're afraid that you're going to see someone tapping into your sensitivity and compassion and really every aspect of femininity here. So again, you're probably a woman, right? But like, if you're not, just switch it around. This is talking about being open and supportive more than anything else, especially if it has to do with money. And so that fear of abandonment is like they took the money and ran. And then that kind of happened over and over again, where you kept attracting liars, false people with the Ace of Swords reversed, Page of Pentacles reversed, people who were in debt, Emperor reverse, people who tried to put forward an idea that they were in control and very responsible and had their shit together and were good leaders, and um, they wanted to be a provider. Even they lied about wanting to be a provider, and it was something that you didn't see until it was too late. Okay. And then once there was illumination on it, then you were hard on yourself and saying, why didn't I see this? And I thought that they were my, lovers. They were my soulmate, whatever. Okay. Not whatever to dismiss you, but let's just move on. You already know this story, right? So the next question is, what do you need to have the courage to do to move forward? Three of Wands reverse. Lower your expectations. Expect that people are already going to be pieces of shit. Or that they'll leave you, maybe. We kind of saw in that whole storyline I just went over, is like, you thought that they were your soulmate. You thought that they were your twin flame. That's putting a lot of pressure on anybody, yourself as well. I just want to put that out there as well. But like putting pressure on them to be like, yeah, we're going to stay together forever. Are they the one? Are they the one? Are they the one? High Priestess. I mean, High Priestess reverse is like, attend to the idea that your intuition is different than your mental state, and your gut is always there in the background. Eight of Pentacles, you haven't worked on your intuition enough at this point to be able to reasonably rely on it. And Ten of Cups reverse, there's some generational or family childhood healing that needs to take place that can kind of get you there as far as your intuition. But I do want to just say that you don't have to have intuition to live your life today. You can move forward today, and be rewarded immediately by the universe. You don't have to wait, nor do you need to feel like less than or like a failure or anything like that because your intuition wasn't hitting. It's just this is tough shit, man. It took me about 10 years before I feel like I could confidently rely on my intuition to lead me to the right place. And until then, I mean, and I don't even seen this with you, but like I was in total delusion, like, and you're more grounded than I was. So like, I just want to say you're doing well, but if you are ready to hear that, here's why you weren't able to see it coming, and then the fear of abandonment issues, and how you can move past that, this is the situation. Build up your intuition better, and you'll be able to know in your gut. And that's down to again, with lowering your expectations. That's a whole part of it, where it's like, if your expectations, and this is a very delicate thing too. Like, when I say lower your expectations, I think a lot of people could hear, just accept that people are broke, or that, this person's going to kind of, beat up on you from time to, like, no, 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 no. I'm saying lower your expectations that every single person that comes into your life is going to be the one. Be open to whatever is happening. See it for what it is. And there's this projection thing that's happened, where you're not only projecting that they're the one, but you're also projecting that they will run as well. And this is simply asking to be more in the moment and really start taking in information as it's given, like when you're literally with that person or as they're speaking to you, and like, it's a clean and blank slate with every single person. And that will help you to move past this fear of abandonment, is what this reading is saying, what your guides and loved ones are saying to you. So, okay. Knight of Wands, this is the sex issues, sex positivity issues. What do we need to know about how that happened? Justice reverse, unfair, unbalanced situation with someone who had a big ego, or someone who wanted to be on top, as it were. So yeah, someone with a lot of ego, and then there was like an unfair give and take. And then Hermit reverse, they weren't willing to investigate anything about you or what your needs were, anything like that. And so that's kind of the story of what happened there. Sorry to hear that. What do you need to have the courage to do to move forward from this? Two of Swords, you need to make a clear and firm decision. Lovers. Yep, I know exactly where this is going. Okay. Boom. You need to get so for real about your communication with this matter and be very like objective about it. Objectively, does this person meet your needs? Are they attractive? Is there sexual chemistry? Are their needs, do you meet them? You know, do they want to do some weird shit in the bedroom and you're just like, hell no, that freaks me out, that scares me, that grosses me out, that's like I'm not turned on by that, I don't want to do that, then that's a no. It's a no. Two of Swords reversed. It's a no. So, and the Lovers here is like, there is someone there for you with um that you're on the same path, that you're compatible with, okay? And if that's not that's the bare minimum, my dear, is that you're compatible with them sexually, that there's chemistry, and that you know the kinks and the turn-ons and things like that are all compatible. And the Page of Wands is here with the Two of Pentacles. It needs to be a serious conversation, a conversation had early with the Two of Pentacles about whether we can make this work materially. Like, can we actually come together? Pun intended. And you know, so it needs to be something that's an open dialogue. And with the King of Swords at the base of all of this, you're going to have to be a little cutting and clear. You're still going to be fair. And that's what, you know, that's what wasn't offered to you, and that's what you deserve. That's what everyone deserves. So this is something that is healing in that sense, is when you're fair and clear and just say, look, let me sit you down. I'm not feeling chemistry, sexual chemistry with you. I think on every other metric you're great, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm going to have to dismiss you. You know, that's what it is. That's just what it is. And you're doing everyone a favor when you can have the courage to do that. So moving forward into the Hierophant reverse, we've got the fear of commitment. What happened to create a fear of commitment in Capricorn Venus? Ace of Swords, lie, defeat. Nine of Wands reverse, letting down your boundaries, and then you were bullied. Okay, so someone took advantage of you here. Someone that misrepresented themselves, lied about themselves, or there was just a failure on someone's part. And I get the Chariot reverse here, which is situations outside of your control. So that doesn't mean that you did anything wrong or that there was something that you should have done better. If you would have known better, you would have done better. And I mean, I'll say that in every reading, like it's always the same. Okay, we're all doing the best that we can, even the people who hurt people. So Ace of Swords reverse, Nine of Wands reverse, let your guard down, and then that person pressed their advantage. So it was like, okay, well, I want to be open to this. I want to like say, you know, I'm going to make this work, or I'm going to try to do what I can. And then they press their advantage with the Five of Swords. What do you need to have the courage to do? And again, this was not your fault. What do you need to have the courage to do to be open to commitment once again? I do feel that this is like a longer, like as we go type situation. Five of Cups, which is look to the things that you learned from that situation, what made you stronger out of that situation, with your like a failed marriage or a failed long-term relationship or failed commitment of whatever this is for you. Okay, look to what you gained from that situation and forgive what was lost. So that's just part of the healing journey. Page of Swords, learn more about the way that things came to an end and why they came to an end. Be more clear-sighted and analytical about it. So there's this whole investigation and deep healing that needs to happen with this thing that was outside of your control. Again, way that you were taken advantage of, that someone pressed their advantage when you let down your defenses. Queen of Wands at the base. Ultimately, you are a creative and beautiful and compassionate and powerful person. Very attractive, very magnetic. You're also financially very attractive. You multiply everything you run it. This is high value. These are high value woman cards, okay, if you're a woman. And so I think this is coming up here to say that people want to take and they don't have enough to give. And this is something that you're going to have to come into reconciliation with, is how high value you actually are, and that not everyone can offer what you can return, what you have on offer. Okay, and that's important here for your ability to make a home with someone, for your ability to, Four of Wands, to meet and build something together, and even share a household together. Okay, because you're over here like taking charge, taking action. You're courageous. You don't need someone kissing your ass, or you don't need a shoulder to cry on most of the time, although you could always use one when things get rough, as we saw at the beginning. But and also you make your own fucking money. You're independently wealthy, like, period. So, in order to even live with someone, even as roommates, they're going to need to step it up and be somewhere, of high value alongside you. Chariot reverse, you're not in control with the value of how high someone's value is. And if you do try to control that shit, you're going to reach a tower moment, because ultimately they're not they're not on star quality with you, man. They're not on star quality. So again, as I said at the beginning, this is going to be a little bit longer term healing journey for you, but ultimately you're going to look back to what happened step by step, be objective, say, if I could look back on that today, or if I was talking to a good friend and they were telling me what was going on, and sharing all the situation that I went through, what would I tell them today? Hey, you're too good for that shit. You got to move forward. It's not your fault that that happened. You can't change them. You can't control this. You can't control the growth of someone and whether they can reciprocate what you have to offer. And you don't need to minimize yourself for the situation either. All right, so finally, with the Hangman as the last thing that's kind of fearfully, contributing to all this, which is like wanting to martyr yourself. And okay, so this leads beautifully right into what I was saying, which is minimizing yourself. Why did you start minimizing yourself, Capricorn Venus? Why did you start minimizing yourself? King of Cups reverse. This is a negative father figure presence. Someone, well, it could also be a past partner. Take it as it resonates, but this is someone who had a lot of emotional damage and baggage that was unhealed, and they depersonalized it onto others. This is a jealous person. This is a controlling person. They're emotionally manipulative. They want to, it gives Scorpion vibes, so they're going to sting themselves to spite someone else. Very vindictive. Very vindictive. Use emotions to go to battle, go to war. Okay. And then with the Six of Pentacles, you were dependent on them somehow. That's why I go back into either it was a father figure, or some other parental older male, or it was a like a past partner that, like, you financially you were tied to them. It was a burden not worth having, Ace of Pentacles, because you had your own money resources that you could have gotten to if you just freed yourself from them. Whatever, okay? Why did that just come out, though? Because I think minimizing yourself, it was like you felt like you needed to, but you never needed to. And you need to know that. You never needed to minimize yourself in that moment, because you felt like, oh, I had to put up with it. I had to go through with it. Okay. So what do you need to have the courage to do in order to move past this feeling of wanting to minimize yourself? Six of Pentacles, the share and share alike card comes back. And it comes back to about your own self-worth and value, and what you're able to share with someone, how charitable you are versus how charitable others are. Five of Pentacles reverse right behind it. You've got to come in from the cold. Poverty consciousness is the thing here as well. So we're talking about when you feel like you have to give and give and give until you have nothing left. Give when you're able to, and fuck the rest, because you cannot allow yourself to be put out in the cold like this. Again, we're seeing two pentacles here, so this is definitely finances. Nine of Cups reversed. Wish fulfillment. The Fool. I think that as long as you get entrenched and tied up with people financially, before they've proven themselves. Ten of Cups reverse at the base as well. Yeah, this is a childhood wounding as well at play, but as much as you get entrenched and entangled with others, before they've proven themselves. Yep. That's how your wishes will keep being dashed. You know, the goals and dreams, especially the emotional dreams that you set for yourself, that idealizations and fantasies, I want to say, is coming forward. You've got to live life lightly and by your own rules, not get too bogged down in mutual ownership, mutual resources, mutual, you know, this is how you minimize yourself, is to keep those finances going. So as long as you're able to be financially independent, take your time, make space for them to be who they are so that you can tell, are they a proper match to me? You're looking for your own value as well as your own weaknesses. Be very clear-sighted about both, and none of us are perfect, but as far as this reading goes, you're minimizing your value. So that's where you need to focus. And then you're making space for them to show up. Do they match your value? Is it a good pairing? Be as clear-sighted as you can be about it. How how can you be clear-sighted about a person that you're prospectively dating? Shadowed waters. Beware illusions that skim the surface, for true understanding lies in the deep. Right, of course. So this is superficial shit. You know, if they show up and they're driving a fucking Maserati, then you're going to jump to the conclusion that they're rich, when that could have been begged, borrowed, stolen. Like, that could have been rented. It's some other person that they manipulated and like, let me do it, and I'm going to mac on this person. And like, they're going to think that I'm really hot shit. Or, you know, if it's like a woman and they're showing up with like full hair, nails, makeup, everything, and it's like, well, did they sell their food stamps to get all that shit done? Or like, people are out here doing crazy shit. So like, it's important to look beyond the surface. What else, Spirit? What else, Source? Truth unveiling. Confront issues with honesty, revealing secrets to light the way forward. So be so for real. If you have a red flag coming up for this person, then it's down to, look, you didn't really own that fucking Maserati, and I know about it. And why are you trying to, you know, flex on me right now? Like, we need to be upfront and direct with each other, or else this isn't going to happen. Don't have regrets. Cherish your moments together. With every new relationship that comes forward, I think it's important to accept that it's very possible, in fact, probably likely, though not to be expected. See, this is we're walking a little tightrope here, okay? This is what it is. That you're not going to make it for the long haul, right? At some point, it's going to be like, okay, we have irreconcilable differences. We don't match, you know, with our financial goals or with our sexual needs, or, you know, you can't match me on what I have to offer, or whatever it is, right? You take more than you give, whatever it is, okay? Don't have regrets. Cherish your moments together. This is coming forward because it's important that you know that even in those failed relationships with past and future, it's important to take something from it and look at how valuable, or how it made you feel, or how it made you a better person, or what you learned from that person, or why you fell in love with them in the first place. You know, what they had to teach you or show you, and you integrate that into yourself, because no relationship is a mistake. All right, let's get one final word from your angels. They have something to tell you, Capricorn Venus, for right now as you watch the end of this reading, and thank you for being here. What is it? Guilt is a normal feeling. Just breathe in and let it go. I mean, if you've been hard on yourself for any of these past relationships, or even for the most recent one, we saw that person was like a pretty high quality person. Like, we didn't get to know how crazy awesome it would have been, or how crazy terrible it could have been. Like, that's unknown. But if you're feeling any kind of way about either that person or anything in the past, it's okay to let it go. We all are just out here trying our best, and you are no different. and neither are they. There was something for them in the relationship as well, and that your reluctance or fear of loss or however it ended, there was something for them to learn there as well. So don't feel that they didn't get what was coming to them. And that sounds like so fucked up to say, but like they needed someone to reject them in the way that you did for their personal growth and journey. Whether they manifested it because they expect people to, or like whatever, this isn't their reading. That's not to be known by you. It's just some, I just want to just say that that's how it usually goes. And so it's fair for you to release yourself of some of that guilt and responsibility of feeling like you fucked everything up, or they're fine. They're fine. In fact, we'll get some cards. I want to get some cards from them for sure. From this most recent person that kind of like got fumbled or whatever happened. What would they want to say to you if y'all were in communication right now from their heart's truth? I knew exactly what I was doing. I couldn't let you get close to me. Finding out the truth crushed me. I know I was a distraction from your pain. That was the truth that crushed. They also couldn't let you get close. And they knew. They knew that you weren't ready for a relationship. They knew. But they had to face it instead of force it. Period. All right. One more thing from your angels. To send you on your way, my dear. Take responsibility of your choices for your choices. Take responsibility for your choices. This is your life to live. Own it. It's interesting. That dichotomy there. And there is, with any Capricorn energy, you're playing life on hard mode. It's something I say pretty frequently when I do readings for Capricorn energy. And part of that is taking responsibility for what has happened. And if you have unhealed issues, if you have not been able to have conversations around sexual preferences, if there's some situation here about self-worth and also like not making sure that the other person is meeting you at that self-worth parameter, but then later holding them to it when they were never going to meet it. These are the things of responsibility that we're talking about. And the more the more, if you know better, you better do better. That's all I'm going to say on that. So Capricorn, I hope you enjoyed that. I really like that reading. I like how we were able to go off topic and kind of dig into like the crux of what is really happening here for you. And hopefully you found it useful. If you like that, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching all the way through. I also have rising sign readings I do every month, as well as a new channel I'm going to link in the description where I'm doing like investigative deep dives into different subjects and just having some fun over there. So check that out and take good care of yourself. Until I see you next time, bye.